2023 was a hard year for everyone. I'm going to help make 2024 your year. My name is Kendra. I have an online crystal shop that I started at 14, and my mindset towards my business has really helped me achieve more than I ever could imagine at 23. These are some of my tips and recommendations as someone who doesn't see giving up on something I love as an option. If you take only one tip from this video and you stop the video here, let it be that your mindset is literally everything. I know sometimes it can be annoying to hear that, but I swear it will make or break your business. You want to see what is working and what isn't and adjust. You have to act on it. If your bestseller from last year or the year before is no longer your bestseller, you have to look at that, get rid of that product or find something new and promote it. It's really important to pay attention to the stats coming from your customers, especially on your posts like your Reels and TikToks. You have to see what is catching their attention, what's blowing up, what gets the most comments and interaction. It's been a little bit tricky with TikTok and Instagram with all of the different algorithm changes. And if you're a small business and an online business, almost all of your content creation and your work is going to be online. And it's been really hard to get some exposure on Reels, and I can definitely relate. I loved when Instagram was full of photos. That was really like my expertise in my business. It's really important to take a look at the videos that you as a viewer like to watch. Say you're a crystal shop like me and you're following other crystal shops. What reels make you stop and watch the full video rather than swiping? You have to keep in mind that sometimes what works for other people isn't necessarily going to work for you. It's really important to find your niche and find something to do that'll really make your business stand out from others. A good example of this is that I also have a vintage clothing store that I just started working on the last 2 years or so. I noticed that I personally like to watch try-on hauls, wholesale unboxing videos, thrift with me's. I like to see what people put back at the thrift store, stuff like that. You have to see what is really engaging. It's important to think of ideas that would make you engage with the video, leave a comment, repost your story, and you want to make content like that. You want to make shareable content that other people are going to want to post. When COVID was going on, everybody was starting online shops, and I feel like small businesses and online businesses were really thriving during that time because everybody was at home and online shopping. Now it's a little bit harder. Everything is expensive, and it's really expensive just to live in this world. So sometimes it's hard to have a small business because your product isn't necessarily a priority anymore. You might have to wake up earlier, stay up later, post more than you had to in the past. It's really important that you as a business owner are open to change. You might even have to change your products completely or take a whole different approach when it comes to marketing your products. I also mentioned this in my very first YouTube video that I ever made, but it's so important to really show your personality through your business page. A lot of times people fall in love with the person behind the business and not as much as the products. They're interested in your personal life and your hardships rather than you just promoting a product that's for sale. And don't get me wrong, it is so important to promote your products and market what you have available, but you want to let people know that there's a person behind the business and it's not just like a robot trying to sell you something. You want to share your passion for what you do. You want to show gratitude. And speaking of gratitude, this is so important. Even when times are tough, especially like last year in 2023, I noticed a lot of shops guilt tripping their customers. This is a hot take, I think, but I saw a lot of shops guilt tripping their customers for not buying their products or getting upset when things don't sell out, or if they have too much inventory, it's the customer's fault, and that is not the case. Customers or anybody just finding your page do not want to see you guilt tripping for them not purchasing your product or sharing your posts. Even though as a small business, it helps so much when people engage, interact with your posts, it is not their responsibility to make your products blow up. You need to take a look at your business, your sales process, your inventory, and adjust. That is the biggest thing. You have to be open to change and adjusting your products, your marketing, your business, your social media content, etc. This one is a little tough because I know a lot of people have been feeling a little bit negative lately, especially with how the business industry was going in 2023 and just the status of the world. It's easy to feel negative. Something that I've noticed that me personally as a customer for other businesses, I don't like to see negativity. Now, we don't want toxic positivity where nothing is wrong in the world and I'm always happy and all of that. But when I say don't express your negativity, I mean, say you do a live sale and you sell some orders and say there's a few unpaid orders. You don't want to go on your story or on your social media and immediately talk about the people that didn't pay. Instead, I think it's really important to acknowledge the people that did come to watch your live, the people that did pay, the people that paid on time or added to their order from your website. You don't want to always express negativity and only notice the negatives, because the people that are watching you and rooting for you feel like they're going unnoticed. This is honestly something that I had to really train myself to do. What made me do this is I would look at the bigger shops that inspire me on Instagram, and I look at how they run their businesses. I never see the bigger shops that I follow post about ghosters or non-payers, people that didn't pay in their lives. I don't see them posting about chargebacks that they receive, even though that stuff is so hard and you want to warn other shops and you want to let people know that this is not okay. It's just something that I have noticed, and I really try to follow after that. Continuing on with the idea of adjusting, if you're doing strictly live sales over on Instagram and that is just not working for you anymore, you're not getting viewers, you're not selling as much as you used to, you need to adjust, move to flash sales, make a flash sale page, or post them to your story. Post flash sales. If that's not working, move to website updates. If that's not working, maybe try Whatnot, try a different platform, try TikTok lives. If that's not working, try vending at local markets in your area. There are so many options that I think we forget that this isn't our only option here. Another really good idea would be to get a booth at your local antique mall, or if you know any stores that allow vendors inside. This is something really fun because I opened a booth for my vintage shop and my crystal shop at the Brass Armadillo in my state. This is something you could look into because it's really fun, and I've done really well there, more than I ever could have imagined, and I've never had to pay for my booth, and it's like free advertising. At first I thought of it almost like a storage unit, but really it's like a little store, but you don't have to pay so much for rent. My next tip is something that I didn't learn until recently, but if you're feeling in a rut or stuck or just unmotivated, take a look at your workspace, and if it looks like an absolute mess, it's just funny that I'm saying this because my workspace is literally crazy right now. But if it looks like a mess, spend a day to just not work and only work on organizing, cleaning, cleansing your space. Also, this wall is new to my office here. Doing this wall has brought me so much motivation that I didn't think I even had. Go on Pinterest, find some inspiration. This is serving kind of like as a large curio shelf for me, and I use it as a backdrop for my website photos now and my flash sales. And oh my goodness, it makes me want to stand in here and take videos all day, when before I had this wall, I literally did not want to come in here and work. This is a tip that I also shared in my very first YouTube video ever, but posting on multiple social media accounts, even if you're cross-posting content, I like to make reels, and then I'll post them on TikTok, or post them on TikTok, then post them to reels. I use the app SnapTik to remove the watermark from TikTok, and I just post it to reels because you're cross-posting, you're getting exposure on both apps. But I do think it's very important to keep content kind of exclusive to each platform. So there's some videos I will only post on TikTok, and there's some videos or photos I will only post to Instagram. That way people have a reason to follow you on both rather than just one or the other. TikTok is probably the app right now to gain exposure and go viral overnight, especially with the new TikTok shop that they just came out with and they're really promoting. They're really taking over Instagram for small businesses right now. My next tip is so important, even if you don't have a small business and you're just like living your everyday life. I think getting a monthly or weekly planner is so important, especially when you run a small business or you work from home. It's kind of hard to stick to a schedule using a planner, and I usually like to fill out my planner for the week every Sunday. I've kind of made it part of my routine. I will pick my work days, my ship days, my off days. If I want to go restock my vintage booth at the antique mall, I'll put that on there. It's important to prioritize your rest days as well as the days that you're really going to be hustling. And when you have it written on paper, you really want to stick to it. That's what's so important, because you could write anything on your planner, but the important part is that you stick to it and you treat it like a work schedule. This is going to be another hard pill to swallow for business owners, but sometimes you're going to have to take a loss in order to make sales. There's going to be months like that where you don't make as much profit as you did maybe the same time last year. Sometimes you're really going to have to discount your items to get them moving, and that's okay. Sometimes you'll have to sell them at cost just to get it out of your house. I honestly made this mistake last year. I went to a wholesaler in December of last year, and I got such a good deal. So I literally just like filled my arms with inventory, and I got a ton of sea jasper and Madagascan material. So I got a lot of the same stuff, and I like filled my shelves with all this stuff. And it's a year later, over a year later, and I still have some of it on my shelves. And now I'm basically giving them away if you on my flash sale Instagram, selling them at cost or lower just to move them off my shelf. But with the Tucson Gem Show coming up, I've accepted the fact that I kind of purchased too much of that inventory, and I'm just trying to get rid of it now to get something new and add some exciting, fresh energy in my space. New stuff sells. I'll repeat that. New stuff sells. I have noticed when you're showing the same stuff over and over again and you're doing live sales with the same stuff shown again and again, discounts lower and lower, it's not exciting. People don't want to join. So honestly, it's best to just discount it at cost, maybe lower if you have to, and get rid of it. Buy something new. People love new stuff. I've noticed after the gem shows, when I have brand new inventory, I have the most sales that I have for the entire year. And I should have known that because I know my clientele, I know my customer base. They love a mix of polished and raw. They love stuff from India, Brazil, Madagascar. They love a variety. I'm not sure why I did what I did, but lesson learned, and I will know that moving forward. Running a business is completely all about trial and error. You're 1000% going to make mistakes, and there's no way to avoid it. It's inevitable. But the way that you react to it is really what's going to make or break your business. So again, I really just want to emphasize how important your mindset is. You need to train yourself. It can be really hard, especially if you catch yourself being negative or an energy vampire to yourself sometimes. If you're down on yourself and doubtful in your mind about your business, that's what's going to come into fruition with the universe. Honestly, it listens to you. Your mind is everything. If you are like, oh, I wish I could be one of those people that wakes up at 5 a.m. every day and does all my work and gets all my shipping done before the afternoon, you can. Just wake up earlier or make some adjustments in your everyday life that you have to do. Another way that this relates to me in my personal life is like, oh, I want to be one of those girls that wakes up at 5 a.m. Or I wish I was one of those people that when I got up, I didn't go straight on my phone and I just read like a self-help book. And it's like, why can't I do that? I literally can do it. I don't know why I thought it was so unreachable for me. So now we're going to go into some of my personal goals, business goals for Mantra Minerals and Of Quartz It's Vintage, my little vintage shop that I just started, and my plans for this YouTube channel within the next year. Starting off with Mantra, I'm going to be reading these off my phone. I made a little list in my notes app of my goals for this year. So for Mantra, I want to attend the Tucson Gem Show, which is actually at the end of this month and beginning of next month. This is like the biggest time of the year for my business, and when I source the most beautiful gems that I do all year long, I get to handpick, and it's my favorite time of the year. I'm going for the longest that I've ever gone at one time this year. I'm staying for the full week, and I'm just excited. I finally feel like I'm going to have some time to do live sales up there and flash sales. I feel like I'm always so rushed and crunched for time when I get there because I'm so excited to just buy everything and go look and meet up with friends and take photos. But now that I'm staying longer, I'll have more time to kind of do some vlogs, maybe for YouTube and TikTok. And that's always been on my like bucket list. And I'm so excited to finally do that this year. I want to fully stock my shelves with all new stuff because I feel like I've been looking at the same stuff on my shelf for literally over a year. I want to post weekly flash sales over on my flash sale Instagram, which is at Mantra Sales. I used to do them every Monday, but I just wasn't finding enjoyment in it anymore when I felt like I had to post it on a certain day, a specific time. So I stopped doing them every Monday and I changed it to regularly posted flash sales, but I'd still like to post once a week. Another goal that I have that I really need to act on because it's my business is post more on TikTok and Reels. I don't know what happened, but I know 2023 was hard for everyone, like I said, and I just felt so uninspired. I'm like, why am I going to make this video if no one's even going to see it? But the thing is, the video you don't make will never blow up or gain exposure. And I'm trying to learn that myself and not be such a perfectionist when it comes to content creating, because all you have to do is just do it. Like, it'll never be the perfect time. It'll never be perfect. You'll always want to change something or wait for this or wait for that. Just do it. This is another goal, not necessarily for this year, but kind of long term. I want to start a savings account for a potential storefront in the future. I just have this vision of having a storefront full of crystals, full of vintage, where everything is for sale. And my mom also sells vintage, and I can just see us working there and having the best time. Now moving on to some goals for my vintage shop. I have always wanted to do this with my mom. She's my best friend. I do like all of my sourcing with her and vintage shopping with her since she also has a vintage shop. But we want to go on a thrifting road trip. I really want to do one that's like out of state. That is like the long-term goal for this year. But we're actually going on one this weekend, just in our state, in Mesa, which is like an hour from me, and we're just thrifting all day, content creating all day, and I cannot wait. And I hope to do these like more than once this year. I think that would be so much fun, and I can't believe that would even be considered like working. I also want to restock my booth at the Antique Mall for my vintage shop weekly. I've been just taking clothes there like every week and a half, but I want to make more content when I do restocks. I don't know why I haven't been, but I don't like post like these are coming to my booth on my Instagram, and I really need to be. I need to be promoting my products. I need to practice what I preach. Another thing is that I really want to vend at vintage markets with my vintage shop. I'm a little bit nervous too, but I would love to do that this year, and I know I just need to do one and I will feel so much better. Okay, sorry about the sudden outfit change. I messed something up with the audio and the sound, so we're just going to redo that. I just finished off talking about the vintage plans for 2024, so let's talk about the YouTube plans. One thing that I've wanted to do for so long is vlog. I really want to take you guys along with me to the gem show, what it's like picking out crystals and my buying process. I also want to vlog like when I get home and the process of getting the crystals from the Tucson Gem Show into your guys' hands. So the cleaning, the cleansing, the pricing, setting up live sales, shipping, everything like that. Another thing I really want to get into is filming my full moon, new moon rituals, as well as my personal crystal collection. You guys have been waiting for that patiently for so long, and I'm finally going to do it, and it'll be here on YouTube. Up next are my personal goals. I really want to be better about having set days for working and set days for not working. I kind of just wing it every day. Even though I do have a planner, I haven't been super good about setting specific days off in the week. It's really hard when you love what you do. Like shopping for vintage and buying crystals is literally my hobby, and both of them are my jobs. So it's hard not to be working all the time. I definitely want to unplug more often. I'm obsessed with my phone. Like I will just admit it. I'm on my phone all the time, again, because my businesses are on there, but I also find a lot of inspo on my phone. I feel inspired when I watch TikToks or when I go on Pinterest. So I'm constantly on my phone, and something I want to do is just really unplug more, ground myself, go out in nature, read more books, just stop scrolling every once in a while. And on that note, something that I was trying to do is not go on my phone as soon as I wake up. I watch a bunch of millionaire morning routines. They always take a cold shower, and they either meditate or read right when they wake up rather than getting on their phone and checking emails or social media. And I've done it the last 3 days, and honestly, it has made my days so much better. I can feel an improvement already. While I think I am pretty knowledgeable about crystals, I really want to be like the crystal it girl. Like you ask me a question about any crystal and I have the answer for you without looking it up. So I want to become a lot more knowledgeable about that stuff and read more metaphysical and spiritual books. I also would love to get better and understand tarot, because I'm one of those girls that pulls a card and I instantly have to look at the guidebook. I cannot tell you what a tarot card means. The last goal I have for my personal goals is just to save money and not spend so much on extra little things. I'm definitely an impulse buyer, and I'm trying to get better about that, but I also want to start a Roth IRA or a retirement fund just to have a little bit of a backup. So that is all for this video. I hope this helped you out if you're feeling a little lost or stuck or in a rut. If you have any questions or extra recommendations, please leave them in the comments. If you want to see some more content from me, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will be sure to post on here a lot more often, and I have a lot of plans for this channel in 2024. I'll have my crystal business account linked below, my vintage account linked below, and my personal Instagram as well if you want to follow those. I really hope this video helped you guys out. If you're feeling a little lost or in a standstill with your business, do not give up, and I wish you all of the success for 2024.